Good morning, boys and girls. You are meeting Mrs. Ndlovu this morning. I hope you're fine, and I want to believe you are busy with your PSLE preparations. As you prepare for PSLE, you need to read your notes, you need to go through the past papers, you need to seek help from your teachers, you need to do the work that you have been given from school. You can also use the internet to research further. The other most important thing is to believe in yourself. Have confidence in yourself as you prepare for PSLE. This morning, boys and girls, it's cold where I am. I think it's also cold where you are. But I want to believe that you are keeping yourselves warm so that you don't catch the cold. This morning, I'm going to take you through social studies and the topic of weather and climate. I want to believe all of us still remember what weather is, and we know the difference between weather and climate. What is weather in definition? Weather is the condition of the atmosphere over a short period of time. Say, a day, a few hours. As I said when I started, I said that it is cold this side. That is an example of weather. But I know that during the afternoon it's going to be hot. Climate, on the other hand, is the condition of the atmosphere over a long period of time, say 30 to 40 years. We have a weather station. What is a weather station? What happens at a weather station? This is a place where weather elements are measured and recorded. And I'm sure you remember the scientist who helps us in measuring weather, the scientists who study weather. These scientists are the meteorologists. They will study weather, they will record information, and on daily basis, they give us the weather forecast. Weather stations are usually located in open spaces, which are far away from tall buildings and tall trees. Why is it so? This is so that they don't collect and record wrong information. Can you imagine if a rain gauge was placed under a tree? Will it give us the right information? Definitely not. Each weather station has a Sunscreen, which contains breakable instruments like the thermometers, the hygrometer, and the barometers. That picture shows us the Sunscreen. That box is always painted white, and that box has air spaces that allow air to flow in and out of the Sunscreen. That will give our thermometers the correct reading. There is a reason again why the Sunscreen was painted white. Why didn't they paint it black? Black was going to absorb more heat. Why did they paint it white? Because white reflects the sun's rays better. We have the elements of weather. I'm sure you know what elements of weather are. And I'm sure you can name a few elements of weather. For example, rainfall, temperature, sunshine, air pressure, wind speed, wind direction. These elements of weather have the instruments which are used to measure them. And alongside with the instruments, we should know the units of measure for each element of weather. The first one that I've chosen there this morning is rainfall. When we measure rainfall, we use a rain gauge which uses the millimeters. A rain gauge is usually dug into the ground. And remember, it shouldn't be deep in the ground so that it doesn't collect water that flows. From the rain gauge, we have another instrument which is the wind vane. The wind vane measures the direction of the wind, and it uses the cardinal points. I'm sure you remember that cardinal points will show us the north, the south. They're just the compass points. So the wind vane uses the cardinal points. And remember, I want you to remember that the arrow will always point to where the wind is blowing from. We have wind speed. When we talk of wind, we are talking of moving air. An anemometer is used to measure wind speed, and the units are, the next one there is the thermometer. Thermometer uses it measures how cold or hot the air is. It measures temperature, and the units are degrees Celsius. We also have atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is measured using a barometer. We have a mercury barometer and an aneroid barometer. They measure atmospheric pressure, and the units are millibars. What we can see now is the sunshine recorder. The sunshine recorder will use the hours and minutes. It will show us how much sunshine, for how long the sun was shining at a particular place on that day. We also have cloud cover. Cloud cover is just measured by observing, just looking at the sky and observing how the sky is. Is it partly cloudy? Is it totally overcast? We also have humidity. When we talk of humidity, we are talking of the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. Right now we are in winter, this is a dry season. Obviously, the humidity should be very low because we don't have a lot of evaporation. But in summer, humidity is going to be very high, especially in our country, because it will be our rainy season. Therefore, there will be more evaporation. To measure humidity, we use a hygrometer, which is shown there. This is also called a wet and dry bulb thermometer. The wet and dry bulb thermometer also uses the degrees Celsius. I'm sure you remember that even the thermometer for measuring temperature uses the same units. We've got some symbols that are used on a weather chart. I'm sure we have seen these symbols on our past papers. For wind direction, they will always give us these symbols. For wind strength, they will give us these symbols. If it's just calm or the wind is very light, we are going to see this. But once you see the three lines there, we know that we have got very strong wind. We've got maybe a storm. And then for cloud cover, we can see the symbols that have been used there. I'm sure where you are today, if you check outside, you can tell which symbol to use. Is it clear? Is it partly cloudy? Is it cloudy? Is it totally overcast? And I'm sure where you are, when you can stand outside, you can tell the strength of the wind. And then for rain, we have always seen these symbols. The first one will show us rain. We should know which one stands for drizzle. We should know which one stands for hail. And we should know which one stands for mist. I'm sure you are going to go through this, and this is going to help you as you prepare for your PSLE. As you move on, I've given you an exercise, which is a follow-up exercise to what I was doing. You need to go through it, find out if you can define what weather is. Find out if you can identify the different weather instruments. Find out if you can try and answer some questions that we find in PSLE that may require you to apply the knowledge that you have learned. The chart that I've just put there, it shows you the elements of weather, the measuring instrument, and the units that are used, which is just what we have discussed. I'm sure you are going to take note of it so that you can use it. I've given you a follow-up exercise there. You should be able to identify these instruments. You should be able by now to say what they are used for. PSLE questions, as I've stated there, they may require you to identify the instrument. They may require you to state what it measures. And they may require you just to tell the units the instrument uses. I hope you are going to go over this lesson again. You are going to go over your notes, and thank you very much. Let us meet next time.